Hey everyone, Izzy and MJ from Endless RVing. Important video for you because we've all made mistakes, us included. We've made a lot of mistakes. We've made some expensive mistakes, so we don't want you to do the same.
This is a special video tonight because we were invited to be a part of a collaboration video, and the channels that we will be doing this along with are Wayward Wags, Our Everyday Getaway, Brazen Brits, The Roadsmiths, and Happy Place Diaries. Each of us will be doing a video with our own spin on it, and we're going to highly recommend that you hop over to their channels, which we will link all down below in the description, and take a listen. This way you're going to get so many more ideas and funny stories, probably.
A lot of combined mistakes made that you're definitely going to learn from. It's going to save you a lot of money, a lot of headache.
Now the first one wasn't really dangerous or messy, it was more expensive. So it was that we got the wrong options on our RV. And when you're first getting an RV, a lot of times you're not thinking ahead. Now we will. Now we know for our next RV exactly what we need. We got 2 couches. They were jackknife. And we didn't realize that our, at the time, 5'8" son was going to grow to be almost 6'5". So that became a big problem because there was nowhere for him to sleep unless we blew up an inflatable mattress on the ground, on the floor in there. We actually replaced it with theater seats, which is something we always wanted anyway. And then we replaced the opposite opposing jackknife with a trifold sofa. So now he's able to sleep better. His feet still hang off. I mean, he's almost 6'5", guys, but it kind of solved that problem. Another mistake that we made that was expensive because we really had to pay to fix this was we got the GPS that came along
the Rand McNally.
Yeah, the Rand McNally, which honestly, from the beginning, we just were not happy with it. And it was an expensive...
It was like a $2,500 option.
It was an expensive option, but again, it was our first motorhome, so we know we have to have this one. So that was an expensive option, and then it just didn't work the way that we really liked to. So this past January, we spent about $700?
Six something.
Yeah, at the Tampa show, and we got ourselves a Garmin. So we spent a little bit too much on these things, but now we kind of have things the way that works best for us.
The next one is right over here in the Wet Bay area now. Please, we do have our generator running because we're at a harvest hose. We didn't have it running all night, so we're just charging up our battery. So let's go into the black tank area. And what we're talking about here, I'm sure a lot of people have made this mistake, and please tell us in the comments below if you made this mistake. Because I promise you, once you make it once, you never will again. It has to do with these valves. Now this is the sewer holding, the black tank, and then over here, of course, is your cap. Now, when we did make this mistake, we didn't have this area here, and if we did, it would have saved us. But I'm just gonna open this up. What had happened was I had dumped the tank, put the cap on, left this open. Then we used the RV, and when I went to take this out to hook this sewer hose, well, you know what happened. Now, I was like this, but we had to hose everything out, and it wasn't pretty. Now, I promise you, once you do that, you will close those valves. So again, we left the valve open, put the cap on, perfect until we went to dump again. Next, 3 major errors, 2 that were, well, they were all completely avoidable, but 2 really definitely more than others. So the first one was probably a year after we got our motorhome. Ohio Turnpike, I'm gonna stick with the story, narrow toll plazas.
Very narrow.
Took the, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't the driver's side, it was a passenger side mirror. Took the passenger side mirror off. Thankfully, we had the tools that were able to take the mirror off and just put some tape. That was an easy fix, guys. Not that big of a deal.
But it was $300 to fix it.
Cheapest of the 3. So let's talk about some other ones.
The next one I will take credit for. Credit, I really shouldn't be saying that. But anyway, we were at a campground in Lake George, New York, and we were getting ready to depart. And again, this is a mistake we never made again. We will not move this RV unless those radios are on and
open
communication is clear. I started pulling out, blind spot. Izzy wasn't ready, and I made a nice little indentation on Nelly right here. You'll never know because, of course, we had it beautifully fixed.
Our friends are Country Classic, the Cicchinis.
Yep, like new, but yeah, that one hurt.
Last one, again, because I didn't take the time to have MJ come outside, was pulling into our home. We have a big retaining wall. It's very tight. Turning in, I thought I had more space, caught the corner right here on the retaining wall because I didn't want to call MJ out from inside to direct me in. Never will do that again. Like it wasn't a lot of damage. It was just really superficial. Our friends at Country Classic took care of that, and those are our major crashes with Nelly.
I just want to point one thing out. It doesn't matter if it's like a scratch this big or a huge.
That was a big. It wasn't
damage.
this big.
No, I'm saying no matter what it is, he can't handle it, and it has to be fixed perfectly, which is good because Nelly looks great and everything has always been fixed. But yeah, I mean, no amount of damage is.
So there's a story has nothing to do with this. I used to have a Ram, and MJ pulled it out of the driveway one day. I loved this truck. It was absolute perfection. It was never the same after that. She caught the fender, the passenger side fender on the garage door frame, and it cracked the paint, whatever, and I had it fixed. It was just never the same.
The match.
It wasn't perfect. They got the match right, but then there was like orange peel. I could never look at that truck again. I was like so hurt by that. But anyway, I'm just like that. Next one, newbie mistake. We will never do this one again either. Lowering our jack feet, and this is why it's important to do these videos, because you may not think of this until it happens. We're lowering our jack feet. If you are lowering your jack feet, like in our driveway, it goes from asphalt and then there's like a rock border to grass. So what happened was when the jack feet went down, they weren't flush and it just bent the jack foot. Not an expensive, well, it was kind of an expensive fix. Those things are like, they were like $100 or $60 each. Never do that again. Every time you pull me in or I pull you in, we make sure we clear. Before we drop the jack feet at a campground, we make sure there's no kind of obstructions down below. These things stick with you, especially when you have to pay to repair them.
So the next one, I mean, this wasn't a huge deal, but it was like a first world problems kind of thing.
Well, this was before we had our lithium batteries, the soft start, so it kind of was a bigger deal.
At that point it was, and this was quite a few years back. We were still kind of rookies, I think, but the mistake is booking the wrong type of site when you're going to a campground. So, you know, we have a 50 amp coach, and I made the reservation. Again, this was years ago. That's what I keep telling myself. No, it really was. But I booked a 30 amp site, and again, not a big deal, but thinking it was 50. But yes, then we were only able, actually, didn't we use, well, we had the dog bone. Again, that's another reason to make sure you always have the right supplies. But yeah, I mean, we were just kind of out of luck for that week, and they didn't have any 50 amp sites open, so we just had to deal with it. And luckily, it wasn't that hot. I think that was like in early May or something. So, because we weren't able to run both AC, so we just had to make it work. We didn't have our battery set up at that point, which would have solved the problem, but we made it through.
The last one's a very common one. Again, this was the first year we had Nelly, so back in 2019. It's underestimating how long it actually takes to get to an area. Now, what we mean about that, and we'll tell you the story, we had booked a trip from home up in New Jersey down to Orlando, Florida, with a stop in Savannah for like a week. We decided we were going to go from New Jersey to Savannah in one day. We left really early.
Well, it only said it was like 13 hours,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we could do that. 18 hours later, we're pulling in the dark. It was just, I think it started raining toward the end, too.
It was 10:30 at night. It was insane.
Yeah, so just remember, when you're in an RV, especially a towable, everything takes longer. Everything takes longer. Fuel stops take longer. Pulling off the road takes longer. Just driving down the road takes longer. It's not the same. We've driven to Florida multiple times when we had the Ram. 1, 2, 3, nothing. You can drive.
Yeah.
The motorhome, very different. It's a 3-day trip now.
But the thing is, when you do that, so again, we left at 3:30 in the morning and got there at 10:30 at night. We were exchanging, driving, but then you make mistakes. So we got there, and that's when we broke the sewer door, right?
Because it was pitch dark.
Right. So then there's so many more
tired.
things. We were tired was not even like the word. I think we were half like hypnotized at that point. We just wanted to go to sleep. But so many bad things can stem from taking a trip that it's just too many miles. Guys, we really, really want to thank all the other channels that invited us to be a part of this great collab. They're great people. We know all of them, I think. I think we have met every one of those channels. Wonderful people, great information on their channels. So again, we're gonna link them down below. Go check out their channels and see what they have to offer also.
If you like videos like this, guys, to the left of us, we'll put our RV Newbies playlist, we'll put our RV Travel Vlogs playlist, and for myself and MJ, it's a journey of a lifetime, and we'll see you on the road.